People mad about that election.
I'm glad you said that, son.
Oh my
People
God.
mad
They are
about that
All
so
right,
election.
so
mad.
let's
Oh my
start there.
God.
Sheesh.
Hold on. Let's start there. I'm glad that you said that. Because one of the conversations that I was having, Rita, prior to jumping on this live stream, and she was like, "Yo," because my algorithm is different. I'm not on Facebook like that, and my
Mm.
algorithm is different, so I don't really get to see what the sentiment of a lot of people is unless they sending it to me, right? And I've been kind of off TikTok, off Instagram like that, and I just been kind of doing other stuff outside of that. But she was like, "Yo, it's a lot of women that are scared. They keep saying they scared, they scared, they scared, they crying, and all of this other type of stuff." And Rita says, "I don't know what they scared of. What are they scared of? I need to find out what's going on. So maybe y'all can give us some insight
Hmm.
on what the hell is happening and what people are saying that they scared of."
They say they scared of Trump being Hitler. So like all the people, I know all the women that I know, I don't know why they didn't know or how they didn't know, but they just figuring out and they're like, oh my God, you a Trumper? You're not worried that he's gonna deport you? I'm like, what? And they're like, oh, you're not worried that he's going to, do this and do that. And I'm just like, where are y'all getting this from? And they were sending me all types of articles. And I'm just like, it's all over social media, the wrong information.
That's crazy.
Have you been seeing that too,
Yeah, I
Quentin and
hear.
Carrie?
Yeah, everybody got like compilations of all the liberals crashing out. You go to
I
one
definitely
place,
do.
you see all like 55 of them. It's crazy. I don't get it. Like I don't never remember people being so like butthurt about it.
Yeah,
So
one of my friends said his mom was telling him that he's scared. She's scared. She started quoting stuff from Project 2025.
oh
I
Jesus.
was
I
like,
don't
that's
know. I
not
can be
even
on
his
here with
plan.
Harry
Like
sounding all clear and shit. I don't know
they're
if I
s-
can do it
they're
tonight.
scaring themselves. It's like they're scaring themselves. It's weird.
Hmm.
I think that this is probably, if I do say so myself, the most retarded group of people that I've ever seen in my entire life, bro. Somebody
Yeah,
said, "Y'all,
I lost
AD,
a
y'all
bunch of
can't do
friends
this
on
every night."
Facebook.
They want us to do this every night. We can't do it every night. My people got lives, y'all. They got things they got to take care of. They got their own platforms. They got things they're working on. I can't do it every night. And Rita's over here wagging her finger like Matumbo, doing like this. She doing just like
Not
this.
in my house.
Rip.
They crazy, Anton. Like they are really going like nuts. They're sending out these little text messages. They're telling everybody that, if you voted for Trump, you're gonna be in slavery. And
2K sent
Yeah,
me.
apparently they think that there's some massacre of black people that's coming. That listen. I agree with you. I agree with
Listen,
you.
if you want to massacre black people, all you got to do is let them continue to do what they do inside of their own cities. Black people been killing black people since the beginning of time. Why would they
Who's
stop y'all?
who's smacking?
Me, I'm eating my fruit. I got my good fruit. I love this. See, I'm doing the right thing. At least, listen, this is after hours. We do what we want to do here.
come
But,
on, Quentin, give him the same energy you give me when I'm eating my cookies.
I
but
just said who's smacking. Smacking.
like,
Like,
all they gotta do is stay out the fucking way. That's all they gotta do is stay out the way. Let y'all continue to do what y'all want to do to yourselves.
Hmm.
Y'all should be more scared of the guy that you living next door to you selling crack than you ever should be. Don't nobody want to enslave y'all lazy bus. Y'all won't even go to work when you working from home. You still be late to the meeting. Ain't nobody thinking about y'all. Don't nobody want to enslave y'all. Get out of here.
And
Enslave.
then now the new thing
Oh,
is to
man.
blame all the Latinos, and then It's the Latinos' fault, and it's white men's fault, and it's white women.
This is so dumb. All right, so here's my question again, because we're not talking about somebody that is in office for the first time. Why didn't he try to do it the first time?
That's exactly what I said. I said, first of all, Trump was already in office and you're still here. Secondly, Trump is about money. If I had to pick anything that was important to him, it's not getting black people off the earth. It's money. Like it sounds so stupid. But yes, that was my biggest thing. He's already been in office and you're still here.
I'm
That's
trying to
Still here.
understand where all of this fear mongering came from.
that's that's contradictory because you just voted Joe Biden in, and he's the one that constructed the crime bill, which affected black people more than anything. And y'all still voted him in, so you're not really that scared all like that. You're only scared because the media telling you to. It's media driven fear. That's all
No,
it is.
but what fear? Where? I don't see it.
It's
And
coming
I
from,
think
I'm telling
I
you,
think it's I think
Anton,
it
they
is
are holding. Oh, go ahead.
no. Go ahead, Carrie, because I think that
No,
is.
I really think they're holding it's Project 2025. I'm serious. I really think
Hold on,
that
Carrie. I really
that
hate
is
you and
it.
your. I hate you and your mic right now. I really do.
I know it make her sound so mature.
You,
She like 10
she's
years
out here.
older.
She's out here embarrassing us with this
That's
incredible
funny.
microphone right now, and
yeah, that shit sounds amazing.
So do
not
you
I'm
have
not
like
satisfied with
okay,
it.
ask your husband. Is it XLR to USB?
But Quinn want to
He
know.
went downstairs. When he
Okay,
comes
never
back
mind.
up, he's watching, so he'll probably come back up and tell me.
Well, I know if it's on your
She's out there.
iPad, it has to be.
She out there sounding so much better than. Okay, go ahead, Carrie. It's Project
Yeah, I
I've
need
Twenty.
to
been
know the
asking.
exact mic because
And
he
whenever
he's
Carrie talk, I'm
I
just
was
gonna.
complaining. I said they're missing all of my ad libs. With I can't. They not hearing my little jokes. I need a microphone so they can hear
It's
my
the
jokes because I'm
MV7.
funny.
I don't like this shit. I don't like.
That
I'm about to
joint's
bring some
good.
microphones from the
He
studio.
sound like the dude from Belly. I don't like that shit.
I don't like.
Yeah.
I don't like
Drop a
that.
dime on them niggas.
I ain't got no banana right now.
While he eats his fruit, he'll
Why
have
you
a
eat his food? I
Drop a
don't
banana.
like that
dime
shit.
on them mics.
I don't
Hey,
like that. I'm about to drop a dime on him.
woo.
I don't like that shit. I don't like that shit at
And you
all.
eating fruit too?
I ain't got no banana, but I got this.
Oh
Woo.
my god,
No,
y'all
but
hilarious.
what Kerry was saying is right because they keep showing that Project 2025 with all this random ass information on there, and it's all like hate and fear mongering shit. It's like take over the country, and it is outrageous things that you couldn't even do in 4 years. So that's what make it
Well,
crazy.
and think
And
about it. Like people did. What's the girl? Is her name Joy Reid with the short hair?
With the blonde, yeah.
People did. They did whole episodes. They hosted like explanation parties to break down and dissect Project 2025. So they actually did it to themselves.
wait, but Anton, you said you read Project 2025, right? So what is the basis of it? Like I know it's 900 pages, but just like what's the basis of it?
I don't remember all of the different talking points. What I do remember is most of it. I didn't really see anything there in there was bad. Honest to
Yeah, I
God,
remember you saying that. I remember you saying
I
that.
don't. I don't remember. I don't remember seeing anything. I'll pull it up because this is first of all, they don't even have nothing to do with Trump.
Yeah,
But
that's what I thought.
And he keeps saying that, but they keep.
go ahead.
No, I was just saying he keeps saying that, but they keep attaching it to him, and by and Kamala keep she kept saying it, and she put it on her page, every bullet point. So they really believe that it's Donald Trump.
This is so dumb.
That's why I say it's just media driven fear. Like this is all stuff that they just keep putting out there. Like and it
But
really
but
don't have
you
no merit. If Donald Trump said like, "Yo, this ain't me," I
but the
mean
thing
that's
is
just
they don't believe it. Like my friend, she keeps like texting me, and she's like, "Okay, what about this? What about this?" I'm like, "Girl, it's not real." They don't believe it. She's asking me about tariffs, and I'm like, "You
Yeah.
mean the Donald Trump tariffs that are on right now?" She's like, "Where?" I'm like,
Here, I'll pull
"They
some
really
of it
believe
up.
this stuff."
And apparently all the credibility that they needed to justify it was that the people who wrote it, some of them used to work for Trump. So that's their justification that it's credible.
Right, but it's the Heritage Foundation, right? So they
Wait,
also
what?
Hmm.
they also donate to Democratic candidates as well because they donated to Hillary Clinton back in 2016,
I'm gonna pull it
and
up.
he had a whole agenda, which is 20 Project 2030, which nobody talks about.
I'm gonna pull it up.
That's
Give me a
in
sec.
effect right now.
I'm going to pull it up. Enough of this nonsense. So,
Somebody said I need new friends. Apparently, I'm getting them because they blocking me.
all right. So, forward a promise to America. Note on Project 2025. All right. So let's go through some of this stuff. Managing central agencies and managing bureaucracy. Let me go down because they usually have some specific bullet points that they address on most of these. The last time that I was looking at it, merit pay, making civil service benefits economically and administratively rational, merit, market based pay and benefits, blah 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 blah. All right, so let me go to something else because I'm not going to go through all of that. Department of Defense, Department of Homeland Security. Maybe people want to do that. U.S. Customs and Border Protection to be combined with immigration, combined with Immigration and Customs Enforcement, U.S. Citizenship and Immigration Services, Department of Health and Human Services, Office of Refugee Settlement. All right, blah blah blah. Cybersecurity and Infrastructure Security Agency to be moved to the Department of Transportation. So they basically saying they want to combine different departments that make it more efficient instead of just having a bunch of bloatware and different monies going to different places. It all can be centralized. Coast Guard to be moved to the Department of Adjustment in time and full scale. FEMA to be moved to the Department of the Interior if combined with CISA. Department of Transportation. Mission statement: the Department of Homeland Security protects the American homeland from and prepares for terrorism and other hazards in both physical and cyber realms. But you know what the interesting thing is about this? If you look at basically the goal of this is to secure and control the border, enforce immigration laws, correctly and efficiently adjudicate immigration benefit applications while rejecting fraudulent claims, secure cyber domain and collaborate with critical infrastructure sectors to maintain their security, provide states and localities with a limited federal emergency response and preparedness, secure our coast and economic zones, protect political leaders and their families and visiting heads of states and government, and oversee transportation security. So this is really just making sure that we enforce the laws that's already on the books and then combining different departments to make them more efficient. But if you look at what's happening in the federal government right now, it all falls under the same security. So, for example, Trump's protection, presidential protection, Secret Service, that all is still falling under Homeland Security. When they started to try to do the bill, for example, of getting through the border security bill that Kamala Harris kept talking about, they cloaked it also under Homeland Security, which is one of the reasons they was trying to get Mayorkas out of there, which is the director of Homeland Security, because immigration is also included in that, and funding for Ukraine, Israel, Taiwan, and all that also is under that. So one of the reasons they were concerned about the Secret Service and Trump getting shot is because that also directly falls under the responsibility of Homeland Security. So they've already combined departments and made that under one director, which is basically saying that now we just need to enforce the laws that's on the books. You see what I'm saying? So this is this is not even real. This is a proposal, more importantly. But my point is that I don't see anything in here. I mean, we can go into, for example, the
Go to
Department of
media agencies. Go to media agencies.
Media agencies.
Yeah.
Mission statement. Of the United States for global media is to inform, engage, and connect people around the world in support of freedom and democracy. However, this mission statement does not reflect the current work of the agency. The mission is noble, but execution is lacking to fulfill its mission. Also, aim to present the truth about America and American policy, not parrot America's adversaries' propaganda and talking points.
Mm.
Voice of America provide news and information in 48 languages to a weekly audience of more than 326 million people worldwide. Um,
I just wanted to see if there was anything in there about censorship.
no, I don't see anything. I didn't read anything about censorship. They base this is basically global, the ability to globally communicate. So you know how there's censorship in other countries and things like that. So, for example, anybody that's ever visited China or knows anything about China, I've researched it
Oh, okay.
extensively. China, for example, does they everything is filtered before it's actually sent out. So let's say, for example, you go and visit China, but then you're trying to use the internet and you're somebody from America, but you're just visiting, so you want to send out some emails. It's severely delayed because it goes through a filtering system that is then monitored by that federal government or by China's communist government to make sure that no propaganda that's against China is ever you know goes out outside of.
Broadcast.
Correct. And so what they're trying to say is that we need to be able to promote what America is really about and be able to have the ability to be able to, internationally and globally communicate with the world about what America is really about and stuff like that. So that's what I had read. That's what I studied about this whole thing. I mean, you can go into all of this different stuff, but again, this is over
So
900.
again, where does it talk about the nonsense that they talk about on MSNBC that it is global domination? He's gonna be able to have unfettered power, Hitler in this.
It's nonsense. Like I said, it's all propaganda. In my opinion, it's nonsense. Um,
Well,
and
in one of the
most
interviews
people
that
that's
RFK, go
most
ahead.
I'm sorry, let me just say this. Most people that spewing nonsense have never read anything about Project 2025. They all take their talking points.
Mm-hmm.
All of them take their talking points from the internet. And more importantly, it's nothing that Trump has ever endorsed. So
When RFK did that interview in the barbershop the second time, he mentioned it and he said Trump said they're trying to pin Project 2025 on me. He said I never even heard of Project 2025, and he said uh that was written by a right wing asshole. He said there's left wing assholes and there's right wing assholes, and that
yeah.
was written by a right wing asshole.
I do know, for example, and this is one of the things I plan on covering tomorrow on the Millionaire Morning Show, is RFK says that he plans to go in and completely dismantle. He said he vows to go in and clear out the entire department at the FDA.
Yeah, and
Mm.
he said something about uh going ahead and letting people know because my brother has autism, and a lot of people don't know that there's a vaccine fund because vaccines have been a big cause of it, but they're nobody's allowed to sue and nobody's allowed to talk about it.
Yeah.
So he said he's going to allow that to start happening so people actually know that these type of vaccines may, cause autism in your children because you can have like a allergic response to it.
Yeah,
Yo, that's a game changer if that happened.
I
Mm-hmm.
mean,
Yeah, he
but
wants to dis.
I think that what's going to happen. Well, I want to let Kerry go first because Kerry is passionate about RFK and what it is that he's trying.
No, I was just saying he said he wants to break all of them down and rebuild them up the right way though. So
Mhm.
that part as well. And he said I've been fighting against them for over 20 years. So I think that I think that he's not only going to be the man for the job, but I think that
Sorry.
we can trust that he's going to do this with integrity. Like this isn't a money grab. This isn't some evil intention. This is genuinely for the betterment of the people. So
I'm
That's
gonna
why I
read
didn't
this.
like when Kamala called it junk science. right? He's gone to Congress plenty of times to talk about, vaccinations, to talk about autism, to talk about a lot of stuff, and they just call it junk science
I
because he wants
believe
the pharmaceuticals.
I believe that there's going to be a lot of people upset at the transformation that has to happen over the next 4 years. Um, I wish Trump could be in office for 8 years, but I do think that JD Vance is going to continue. Here's the thing: everything that we know and how America is set up today, and a lot of these different departments, and a lot of the ways in which we're basically being marketed to, and how America, in my personal opinion, it does need to be dismantled and rebuilt from the ground up. I think that
Yeah.
everything needs to be audited, which Elon Musk is in office, and also that possibly take, or Elon Musk is going to be a part of Trump's team, so that takes place. I think that the FDA needs to absolutely be destroyed and dismantled and rebuilt up from the ground up. RFK is in there for that. I think that there's a lot of people that are benefiting from the war machine. That absolutely needs to be addressed. And so, it absolutely needs to be torn down and rebuilt. It's so much bullshit that's happening inside of this country, that does not serve the American people, that is being held up by taxpayers. And honestly, somebody in a super chat, and I'm gonna read the super chat shortly, said, "Let's be honest, all politicians work for the rich." What do you mean? Trump was already filthy rich before he got into office, which is one of the reasons you needed somebody from the outside to then rebuild their administration with the right people, such as an RFK and a Tulsi Gabbard and people like that, to make sure that we go about doing it the right way and to get this shit together. And so I'm all for it. I am. I am absolutely for it.
I'm
What do y'all
actually
think
glad that
about
Trump lost the first time. I mean, the second time, because I think it would have just been him, rushing to get back in there. Allowing that 4 years allowed him to actually assess what he didn't have around him, what he was doing wrong, and actually come back with an actual ground game that won everybody over.
Yeah, I think he learned from the first time, and he gonna do it differently this time.
Hmm.
I think people are afraid of what is going to happen to the Department of Education.
And like, okay, so what? What is it that they're afraid of with regard to that? What do you think, Carrie?
What I've heard is people are worried about their, I guess, would it be their pension, their retirement? Um, that was the biggest thing that I heard.
yeah.
And then schools losing funding.
Shit, that's been the thing.
So you remember that article I sent you, Anton, or video I
Mm-hmm.
sent you. So in this area, a lot of the women and families, period, work for the government. Okay, because it's DC.
Yep.
But the Department of Education is one of the most like condensed places. Like everybody works there, right? So you got thousands of jobs, like just made up little jobs. So what they fear is that because a lot of the people in this area make their wealth off of the government, that it will take a lot of people out of the middle class if you get rid of a lot of these governmental programs that hire all these people for these jobs that
I mean, it
really,
is what it is. It is what it is. Like,
right. But
we
that
can't
that's what they're talking about.
we can't
And then they're
continue
saying it's gonna
to
affect.
let
Yeah.
people just benefit off of
Mhm.
taxpayers. That's not adding value. Um,
Mhm.
we have to tear this shit down and rebuild it. Honest to God.
Yeah. I'm with it. I'm with it. But that's what they're talking
Well,
about
what's
for the most part.
interesting is that, oh, go ahead.
No, go
What's
ahead.
interesting is that prior to all of this, I remember when it went to the Department of Education, because at one point in time, years ago, like a long time ago, to my knowledge, I could be wrong, it was in the state's hand, I thought. Like, I think it wasn't always like this. I could be wrong.
Yeah.
I have a lot of family who are in education, and when that started to happen, they were complaining. They've been complaining.
Yeah.
So it's weird because they're afraid of what will happen to it, And even somebody close to me, she even said, she was like, I know we have a lot we still have to figure out and work out, but still, it still shouldn't be taken away. And it's like you can't win. You can't win for losing. You can't.
Yeah,
And then earlier today, someone posted something and said, anybody who voted for Trump or didn't vote at all, I hope that you can pay for childcare. I hope that you can pay your rent, and I
no,
hope that you can pay for health care. And I'm like,
Hmm.
what does that mean? So
I don't know what it.
if Kamala were to have gotten in office, is she paying for people's rent? Is she paying for people's childcare?
I'd like to think that I'm one of the more informed people when it comes to politics. I have no idea what the fuck these people talking about. Honestly,
Maybe they talking about that
I'm
stupid
like, am I
six
missing
thousand
something?
dollar child tax credit, but that only works if it's your first child, the first year, right? So that doesn't even they
That's
assume
what I'm
that that lifts
saying.
them out
What?
of poverty. But if that was the case, then Kamala and Joe would have kept Trump's child tax credit because it was higher than Barack Obama's and it's higher than Joe Biden's right now.
I genuinely don't know what the
But isn't
I
that the
I
goal, to be able to pay for yourself as an adult? Like,
yeah,
aren't shouldn't you be aiming to take care of yourself?
the goal is to generate enough revenue.
Not if you're liberal.
After the goal is supposed to be, we've become so dependent on the federal government to subsidize our lives and to subsidize our choices. When the goal was supposed to be getting to the point to where you're independent of the government, but we leverage the government just to give us the foundation, such as infrastructure, police services, things like that. We're not supposed to be this dependent on the
Militia.
government. And this is one of the reasons why people became Democrat in the first place, is because they tied themselves to the federal government in order to survive. The goal is to ultimately have enough wage growth and to let the economy be able to naturally move in a capitalistic structure to where it's supply and demand. And then you start to shift over into the areas where you can meet the demand based off of where we're going as a society. So, for example, at one point, horses and horse breeding was a thing because we didn't have cars. And then as technology progressed and Henry Ford um, modernized the plant and the line in order to create cars, the assembly line system. What happened was we evolved, and then people started to develop different skills in order to meet that demand. Capitalism is supposed to be an ever evolving system, not to be interdependent on the government in order for you to survive. And people have forgotten that. And so now they depended on the federal government to fix their own lifestyles or to subsidize what it is that they do. And that's not what it's for. The only people that should be rewarded extensively in that way are those that sacrifice what they could make. Okay, now I got to give people a little bit of a history lesson. When you go into the public sector, for example, let's say you work for a major university or you're a teacher or even if you work in tech at a major university, you're going to make significantly less money than you would in the private sector. You'll be more protected, you'll have more job security, but you'll make less money. The trade off of that is you get way better benefits, right? Because they have to incentivize you to be conducive for what it is that they're trying to do as far as educate your children or whatever like that, right? And so you'll get double match for your 401k. You'll get way better healthcare coverage. You may even get a pension. And that's because of the sacrifice you're making on that end that's supposed to cover you on the back end. It's not supposed to be for everybody. We're supposed to be in a eat what you kill system. But we become so dependent on the federal government and so entitled that we have no longer become innovative. And that's one of the reasons why other countries are passing us up all day, every day. And even when it comes to our food, we sitting there saying, oh my God, I can't believe. Man, listen, if you've ever been to most of these other countries, their food is not like our food. Their people aren't as fat as our people.